Okay. So today's probably not going to be as exciting. It's probably going to be pretty much a repeat of what we did last time since the market's barely fucking moved. We're still in the same pretty much spot. Nothing that exciting happening. Now, in terms of Bitcoin, you can see that we broke through resistance, flipped it. There. We flipped that to support. That's what I've mentioned in my channels. This is a key level. We flipped it, went higher. Now here, we're chilling at this zone here. Now, one thing you need to know is in an uptrend, consolidation at resistance is bullish and usually leads to a breakout to the upside. So the longer we consolidate here at resistance, the higher the odds of us breaking out and moving up. And if we do that, there's pretty much, it's just going to be free up till about 80. Yeah, up until this zone here. There's pretty much nothing stopping us. But with that being said, it is very possible for us to see a move down. However, like I said, the longer we consolidate here, the higher the chances of us breaking out. Now, in terms of my weekly chart, you can see we're still at this level. But yeah, on the weekly, it's even bigger. It's pretty much nothing stopping us up until 78, up to like 86. But I do think this, if we do get a move up here, we're likely to get front run at about 84k. So that's where I'm going to be dropping off the majority of my spot bags. Now if we go down, let's go down to the 4 hour. Got this trend line here. We have this. Although that's probably been filled, so I mean we can see a move down from here. So if we do get break this trend line, flip it, I would definitely be looking for shorts, but right now it's 50-50 what happens really in my eyes. We can go down, we can go up. Just really depends. I think we'll get a move either way on Monday. And we can play off that. So if we do manage to break above this and flip it, we'll be playing longs. And essentially a Monday range is a really good way to play it. So if I show you what I mean by a Monday range, you can see here we've got this Monday candle. There's the low. There's the high. More or less. Then if we go down, you can see on Tuesday, we sweat the highs, the Monday highs. So this could have been your entry. By the way, this is the 4 hour. So this could have been way lower time frame. And you can see that based on the Monday lows and Monday highs, this would have given you a 3.2 hour trade. Now, Cryo, I know that you asked me yesterday what an SFP is. An SFP is just a swing failure pattern. So you've got an internal high here. Internal because these are the external highs. These are the swing highs. We've got the external high here. Now, essentially what price does is, let's say, let's just go back. So Monday, we're forming these highs. Highs are formed. Now, essentially, what an SFP is we move up, take the liquidity from here, wick, and then close below these highs. That is what I call an SFP, right? So you can see here, swept the highs, closed back below. That would have been your short entry. And you aim for lower. You TP at resistance or support, which would have been here. This would be 1.5R. And you keep going down. This kept going. Let's just say that's one, just for the sake of it. TP2 would have stopped you out at TP1 and then ran higher. That's what an SFP is. And if I show you that from the example that I showed you yesterday, if you go down to the 15-minute, actually 1 hour will probably be better. We've got support here. Actually, I guess that, yeah, let's do that. Resistance up there, mid-range about yeah, let's just say that. Yeah. So here's our mid-range. Here's our range lows and here's our range highs. You can see here, we have these internal lows here, which got swept right here. Now, for SFPs, it's better to play them on a lower time frame. So if you go down to the 15-minute, you can see that was quite a strong wick. Which one gave you the better entry? Yeah, so you can see the 15-minute, you would have got a better entry, since you can get in earlier. So you would have gotten here, stops on the wick, or right below them. I tend to put them right below, and aim for higher. Now you can see that SFP alone would have given you 3.7R. Similar to the trade that I showed you with the Monday range. I thought it was sexually frustrated pattern. But yeah, that's how you play it. Now, you can see on Bitcoin on a lower time frame, we're stuck in this range right now. I kind of yelled at Gaijin earlier for shorting here because, well, we're at the mid-range. We've just flipped it to support. So this is where you should have probably taken profits. If you did. I don't know what your trade looked like, but let's say you shorted these highs, so you can see that there's another range here on a lower time frame. Now you can see every time frame is different levels. Like for example, this one has a little mini range within the bigger range. Let's say you shorted this there, stops there. Oops. First, you want to take profit at the mid range. Then I'd probably close the range, like close the trade here. You can see that it went below, but you definitely want to be taking profit out of the mid-range, especially with it being an SR, which it was back here. We still haven't flipped it to support. Short filled, went lower. We haven't flipped it to support yet. There you go, there's your flip. That would have been a valid long to take. Stops below there, aim for range highs. And now we're just still playing the range. You can also play off range lows and aim for the highs. This would have already hit TP1. Actually, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, it'd just barely be at TP1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, on a lower time frame on Bitcoin, we're just ranging, which is looking good for bulls because the longer we range here, the higher the chance for a break to the upside because this resistance gets weaker and weaker. So you can see we've had plenty of touches already. And the longer we consolidate, the more touches there will be. And since we're in an uptrend, odds are the resistance gets broken first. And yeah, there's that. So if we do, once again, get a break to the upside, I'll be waiting for a flip of this before I look into longs. And then I'll be looking for higher into this blue zone. I'll probably be dumping my spot wags off at 84k though. Any questions about that? Take that as a no. Now, the reason I think Monday is going to be so volatile is because of this. Now, this is a Bitcoin volatility index. It shows how volatile Bitcoin is. Now, whenever we tap into this blue zone, apart from here, ignore this. This was Christmas, so there was barely any volatility. Oops, sorry. Whenever we go into this blue zone, after a day or two, we have a move up. So you can see here, 2 days later, got a move up. Here, a day later, got a move up. Here, day later, 2 days later. You can see. But the deeper the move is into the zone, usually means the greater the volatility, right? So you can see here, we nearly tapped that black line, and volatility shot up all the way up there. Same with this. Shut up. And yeah, so Monday is going to be pretty volatile since usually the sun gets tapped on the weekends and then Monday leads to a massive move up. And yeah, let's have a look. Like, this is the first time that I've checked charts today properly, or even in the past few days, so we'll see. Let's have a look at this. Now you can see we still haven't closed below this bull flag, but you can argue that this is either a double top or bull flag, which is what I put out here. We're in an uptrend on USDT dominance, which is why I think it's more likely to be a bull flag. Bang. So that's why I think it's more likely to be a bull flag than anything. But if we do close below, that will mark this as a double top. And you're going to want to play off the neckline here, play the retest, and once that happens, Bitcoin's going to pretty much shoot up to infinity. Probably to that 85k zone I spoke about. Okay, now that's what I think about Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, nothing that crazy. We're reclaiming this resistance here, so that means alts are probably going to die sooner or later. Now you can see it's going up, so alts are pretty much not pumping as much as Bitcoin. So if we look here, yeah, you can't really see it. But yeah. Now if we go into Solana, can see that we're still ranging on the high time frame. This is probably a bear flag, so if we take technical targets to this bear flag, we'll be going down all the way to 20, which is this zone here. You can play off everything there, but on a larger time frame, you essentially want to be accumulating coins. These are just technical targets, so you don't want to take them to heart. You want to be DCing on your way down anyway. So like for example, here, this is support, you wanted to buy there. This is support, if it goes down there, you want to buy there, so on and so forth. No one is going to catch the bomb in this market. No one is that good. That's the way I was taught. That's the way Conrad was taught. DCA on the way down at support, and you'll be set for the bull market. Now on a lower time frame, Sol isn't doing shit. From Sunday, it's literally moved up 5%, and it's just been moving up and down. It's fucking shit going. We've got mid-range here. Most coins are still ranging. Let's just get rid of that. I wanted to play off this order block here, but I cancelled the trade simply because we put in another low, so breaking above will be bullish. That means that this trade won't be as good. It's already been tapped once, so the order block is still valid because 80-90% of it hasn't been taken. So theoretically you can play it. Same with fibs. The golden pocket, which is the 618 and the 66. It's only been tapped once. I count these two touches as one. It's only been tapped once, so they're still theoretically valid. It's just, in my eyes, this doesn't have the risk to reward anymore, and I probably won't be playing it. But if you do, this is the setup. Down to there. Take profit at mid-range, which is just below 1R. And yeah, going down even more. Trickling down. Oops. You can see that we're still bullish, we're holding on to the trend line, but with each of these touches, the trend line is getting weaker and weaker. And odds are we're gonna likely see a break below, flip, and then we'll play off. If that does happen, I'm definitely gonna be shorting here. Stop somewhere there and play lower. That is definitely a trade I'm gonna be taking. I guess you can put stops higher. But yeah, Sol's dying out. It's definitely not performing good. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin pair. Now you can see you've got a bear flag on Sol here. Technical targets of that bear flag are going to be all the way down there, which we've got support here. So essentially, Sol is in the middle of nowhere in terms of the Bitcoin pair. Although I guess you do have support here. So break below that, and Sol is definitely going to be going lower. And my targets for Sol are probably around like $30 to $40 before it bottoms out and goes higher. But you can see that the Bitcoin pair does not look good at all. Yeah, odds are I think we see Solano go much lower. We've got a nice little order block, order man zone here. Stretch that out. It's just more confluence for this blue line. So we might see a little move up there and then back down. Now in terms of ETH. Oh yeah, I was meant to post all of these charts. Let's just send the lower time frame one. Yeah, I've deleted all the longs and short positions, so it's pretty useless, but Alright, now let's have a look at ETH. Okay, so in terms of ETH, you have this demand zone here. You had a support there. One here. And one there. So essentially what you want to do is you want to DCA at support again on a higher time frame. I guess you could say there's one there too. Yeah, give it a bounce. So you want to essentially DCA at these levels of support. So DCA there, you've got a supply zone here, so you want to DCA in this range. Since it's good confluence, you can see based on that alone, it gave you a 30% move up before it dumped again. DCA, DCA, if we go back down to 1k for whatever reason, DCA there. Past that, so it's going to shit, so there's that. Lower time frame. Nothing really that exciting. Got highs there. Oh, let me just load up a new chart. From here to about 2.7, 2.8k, there's like nothing stopping us. Same with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does break out, I think ETH will also give a nice move up to about 2.8k before it rejects further. So we've got a little supply zone there on a much higher time frame. So I think this will give a move down if we do get up there. We've got a trend line there. Bang. Now going down. You can see the structure is bearish on the 4 hour. We had a higher high, higher low, higher high, lower high, lower low, lower high, and now we're just playing this trend line. If we do break above, that'll be a structure shift again, so it will be bullish. Once again, if that happens, I think we'll likely be seeing 2.7, 2.8k, that zone. But in terms of now, it's bearish. We could reject from a trend line somewhere up here, but there's no 3 touches, so I wouldn't call that valid. I guess you could force a trend line there, so 1, 2 touches, 3. So if you do get a move up to here, I would short that. Stops above, aim for lower. Take profit at levels of support. So TP1 will probably be here, around 1 hour. And yeah, just keep playing. That is one thing that you could play off, although if it does go up there, we'll have broken this bearish trend line, although on a high time frame I wouldn't call it valid. So in terms of structure will still be bearish up until here. So this looks like a good trade to take. Fibs. No real confluence at entry, but you can DCA at like further up in the order block to get a better entry if you get that. Now in terms of the bullish case, since as a trader you want to have a bullish and a bearish case, you could long go and go up. I definitely wouldn't do that because for one, bearish structure on ETH, two, break of a bullish trend line. So I wouldn't be longing. But if you do want to throw your port away, then there's this. You can probably put entry at the 786. DCA in the order block. And aim for higher if you want to throw your port away. Have to leave would be amazing if you can go over Pengu later. I'll check out on the video. Yeah, sure. See you later then. Now, yeah, that's what I think on ETH. You can see we're also consolidating our resistance. So, yeah, that resistance is getting weaker and weaker. But to be fair, more often than not, you can see bearish structure. This trend line is getting tapped more and more and more. So, yeah, most coins are pretty much looking the same. Now, I wanted to go over PopCat. You can see PopCat has a pretty nice bull flag here. And it's just broken about it. So if you play the technical targets of the bull flag, down to here, that'll be a 30% move up. I was thinking about playing this on spot. But in terms of leverage, you can play something like this, aim for higher. Take profit at support, so that would be probably about here. That's at 1R. And yeah, technical targets are all the way up here, which lines up with these support lines. So you can see we've got resistance up here. Support probably won't see that on a high time frame. Or maybe you would. Yeah, there's this. But yeah, just wanted to show PopCat because it looks like it does want to head higher. I'm fairly certain Ajimo had a... Yeah, he has a PopCat long for it too. I think he saw the bearish trend line, didn't see the bull flag that's forming, but yeah, it looks like a really good play from him. Now, I wanted to go over Ondo and Doge. So, these types of setups look extremely good and they're really high conviction. So if we do manage to get a breakout above this trend line, these types of setups are really good to play. So like for example, if I show you on Filecoin, you can see we had an identical thing here. Bearish trend line, making lows, broke out, flipped it, and ran up 86% from this. And essentially, these are the type of setups you want to look out for, since they do give quite high probability trades. But then, after, as you can see after that, fart, because it's a shearer just died. But you can see the similarity between the two. Bearish trend line, it's ranging, so even if we do break above this resistance here, that's further confluence for a move up. And same with Doge. Bearish trend line, ranging, as are most coins. Break above this resistance or trend line, whichever one you want to go for. You could buy in either with spot or with a long. Stops below there and aim for higher. But yeah, just wanted to get that across. Now, any coins that you want charted? That's probably all from me. Was there anything else I wanted to go over? I'm fairly certain there was one more thing. Oh yeah, Seapool. Now you can see Seapool on Tuesday, I believe. I gave out the call. I'm going to be taking this on spot. A day later, it pumped up 36%. Now you can see we do still have this bullish trend line. Still have the support, so I recompounded everything back into this trade. All the profits that I made from TP1 and TP2, I'll put them back in at DCA alongside the initial DCA. So I need to calculate what my average entry is. I believe it's somewhere around... Yeah, it's really close to support anyway, obviously. So I'll calculate all of that later and I'll send it in my channel. But yeah, so far it still looks good for a move up. Invalidation of this would be a break below the trend line. Flip that to resistance, and yeah. That's what I've got. Now, Conrad wanted me to check out Pengu. This stream is probably going to be much shorter. Now you can see from the last stream, that was not from last stream, never mind. But yeah, you can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. 5th touch broke out. Flipped it to support, so this looks like it wants to move up. You can put stops below there, aim for higher. But yeah, Pengu looks really good. To be fair, I didn't notice that. I might play that on spot. You can see that we were accumulating it for a bit. Flipped it. And yeah, looks like it's good for a move up. If we do close back in the range and play this, this would be a good long to take. Back up to range high. Or even up to these highs. Or you could play the flip of this. Wherever stops will be when it closes below. To range lows. But yeah, well, the accumulation looks like it's given out. Flipped it. What's it like on the high time frame? Yeah, same thing pretty much. Accumulation breaking out. We do have this big boss over here. So this might give a pretty nasty rejection. We've got this order block or supply zone. whatever you want to play it as. So this will likely give a nasty rejection. I think since Pengu is a shit coin, I don't see it exploding in the next bull run, but we'll see. I think what's going to happen is we have a move up to here, however much that will be, and then we just keep going down to 0. And then we're just going to consolidate down here. That's my long-term outlook on this coin. But yeah, I spoke about this last stream. If we do get a breakout above this, you do want to play that. You can see you've got a flip of it there. That would have already given you a 10% trade, which overall is pretty good for, how long is that? 4 days? 3 days? Yeah, not bad at all. But overall, I don't think this coin is going to be going up to making new highs. It could, but yeah. We are bullish on this coin now. Nothing much to say other than that. It's a good spot play to take. What do you think of something like this? Short on ETH with very tight stops whenever it touches the top of the trend line. Now, in terms of my definition, that trend line isn't valid because it's only got 2 touches. Just get up a new chart. Now, what you've got is this. This trend line is not valid because 2 touches. You could make it valid, however, through something like that, which is what I tried to make. You can see 1, 2, 3. That's a valid trend line, although it's still a bit iffy. Yeah. There's an order block there. So honestly, just look for where the most confluence is. Playing it like that, odds are you will get stopped out because 1, you've got really, really tight stops and it's not a valid trend line. But if you want, you can short this. Head for lower. And that would probably be a less risky play to take. Yeah, everything's been taken. I don't know, if we do this, is there anything that lines up? It could go up to the golden pocket and just reject. But in terms of the trend line, I would not use that as confluence because it's not valid. So it'd probably just blast through. But yeah, you've got an order block there. You've got this trend line if you want to force it. You also have this bullish trend line. Break below this. And you can play off that. There's a lot more plays that you can do with higher confluence. But in terms of that alone, I definitely wouldn't be taking it. Especially with tight stops like that. It's extremely risky. If you do see it starting to pull off another lower high, you could take a short there. Because the structure is bearish. But yeah, there's many plays that you can play off. Stops like that. For lower. But yeah, like I said, from last stream, not much has happened. I think next week is going to be a really, really volatile week. If we look at the calendar for next week, you can see we've got plenty of stuff. Interest rates, GDP growth, interest rates in the UK. Yeah, you can see we've got a bunch of stuff. So next week looks like it's going to be a really volatile week. Especially Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know, we'll see. I think next week we're going to make a move either to the upside or to the downside. So we'll see how it goes. I'm probably going to be making a off-stream market update next week when that move happens. So we'll see. Oh yeah, you also have this trend line here. This is probably a better trend line because, yeah, it's a higher time frame. But yeah, you can play off that however you want. It's just, I definitely wouldn't be playing it off the way that you would. Alright. Any coins that you want charted out? If not, then I'll just end streamer. Okay.